Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back. So it's been a while since I've done a portfolio review video, so I thought now would be a great time to do one for this upcoming November of 2021. So I've done a lot of consolidation in my portfolio recently, meaning that I've got rid of a lot of positions. So I took profits on some and I took a small loss on some others. And the reason is because I really wanted to raise some cash on a crazy opportunity that I foresee coming in the next few months to a year or so. And we'll talk about that in much more detail later on in the video. But first, I just want to mention a word from our new sponsor, Borrowwell, which is a service that lets you check your credit score absolutely for free. So you guys know that I never promote products that I don't use or find useful myself. So here is my Borrowwell account, and here is my credit score according to Borrowwell. And yeah, unfortunately, it went down a little bit recently because I got the Amex Platinum card. But yeah, still not too bad in my opinion. So if you guys also want to check out your credit score absolutely for free, be sure to create an account using the affiliate link down below and get set up in about 3 minutes or less. Anyways, back to today's content. So first, before I jump in, I just want to say a big thank you to absolutely everyone who has been watching this channel and supporting me throughout the past 2 years or so, ever since I launched this channel. So I started investing way back in the day when I first turned 18. But I didn't really have any significant amounts of money to put in to my brokerage account until about maybe summer of 2019, which was when I first started to take investing really seriously. And even back then, I had less than 20,000 Canadian dollars in my account. So I feel tremendously grateful and maybe just a little bit proud of myself that this October, my main RBC direct investing brokerage account closed at an all-time high of $104,452.92 Canadian. So I crossed the six-figure mark finally. So yeah, that's absolutely amazing, and I'm super grateful for that. So granted, a large part of that was new contributions. So I didn't do a 5x in 2 years. Like, it wasn't all profits. But if you guys must know, I also did look at the performance metrics according to RBC that they provide, and I beat every single benchmark that is listed there on a 3-year adjusted annual basis. I'm not showing you guys this to show off, by the way, or maybe I am just a little bit, but the main point is that I wanted to show you guys how hard work pays off, or how it can pay off. And I also wanted to give a little bit of motivation for you guys who are trying to build your own investment accounts. And yeah, you just got to keep it up and really take investing seriously. So it's not going to happen overnight, but if you're consistent at it, and if you just make contributions to it every month or every week or whatever your schedule is, and also, you know, really put in your research and don't just YOLO money into random meme stocks. You know, if you just follow these simple principles and really do your homework, you can really build up an investment portfolio really quickly. Now, enough rambling. Let's jump into the actual portfolio review. So my first holding, and this is now my smallest holding, is Hyliion, H-Y-L-N. So I talked about Hyliion a lot on this channel. I love the idea. I took a chance on it. Didn't exactly work out the way I wanted it to, since the stock has fallen quite a bit. And at this point, there's really not that much point in me selling it. I do think that they have some exciting products that they're planning to launch in 2022 and 2023 and beyond. So I believe that this will be successful still. You know, the Hypertruck ERX is the product that I'm talking about. Is basically their electrified powertrain that powers semi-trucks. So yeah, I do think that that product will be very popular. And if it does actually become a great success, then I think that the stock can revert back to its previous levels in the 20s or 30s range. So yeah, again, if you guys don't know, Hyliion is a company that makes the electric powertrains, and they also make batteries. Yeah, these companies that tend to run the truck companies, these logistics companies, they tend to be more conservative, so they don't like to adopt new technologies generally. But once they do, they sign huge contracts. So if Hyliion can secure just a few contracts from these big logistics companies, then expect a huge upside on Hyliion stock. Right now, it's just a waiting game for me. So with my luck, I know if I sell it, then the moment I sell it is the moment that they're gonna announce a huge contract and the stock's gonna shoot up like 50%. So just watch. If that ever happens, you'll know that Andy sold the stock like a day before. So yeah, I'm just gonna hold on to that one. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero, right? It's down a lot already, so it's not really a big deal. The funny thing is that if you're down a lot, then every subsequent, like 10% drop, let's say, it affects your whole portfolio a lot less because it's already down a lot. So yeah, it's not a big deal for me if it ends up actually going to zero, since I'm already down quite a bit and I can't win every single bet that I make. As long as I have more winners than losers, though, I'm happy. And lately, I have had a lot more winners than losers. All right, anyways, next up, we have MSTR, MicroStrategy. And this is Michael Saylor's company. So Michael Saylor, as you know, he's one of the biggest Bitcoin bulls out there. And MicroStrategy used to be a software company. And I guess they still make software, but it's mainly seen as a proxy for Bitcoin ever since Saylor decided to convert the entire company's balance sheet into Bitcoin. And he also issued bonds to buy Bitcoin. And as of right now, MSTR is holding over 110,000 Bitcoins. So not $110,000 worth of Bitcoin, 110,000 Bitcoins, which is worth like $7 billion at today's valuation. And Saylor's always adding more Bitcoin every chance he gets. So if you're bullish on Bitcoin, especially if you're in the United States, which does not yet have any spot Bitcoin ETFs, then consider MSTR stock, because it's almost like a spot Bitcoin ETF at this point. So I always get asked this, so I'm just going to answer it right now. People always ask me, why should I buy MSTR stock instead of actually buying Bitcoin? Well, number one is for tax reasons. So it's a lot easier from a tax perspective to deal with stocks as opposed to crypto directly, because you can hold stocks in registered accounts like retirement accounts and whatnot. And number two, it is a levered bet on Bitcoin because MSTR borrowed money to buy Bitcoin. So it's a much better thing, I think, to be a shareholder in a company that borrowed money to invest in something like Bitcoin, which is a very volatile asset. And this is because if Bitcoin goes down and you borrowed in your own name, like you margined your own like assets, then you get margin called, and then you're potentially personally liable. Versus if you're just a shareholder in MSTR, you can't get margin called, right? So the most you can lose is 100%, i.e. the value of the stock. So you never owe money if Bitcoin crashes. So it's kind of like a margin bet, but it's a lot safer. And lastly, you're kind of getting the MSTR business for free, or not for free, but at a steep discount. So this company, before it started buying Bitcoin, was worth over $1 billion. And this was just on the software stuff alone. So back then, nobody knew who Michael Saylor was or who MicroStrategy was unless you were a user of their software, right? So if you subtract the value of MSTR's market cap now that they've accumulated so much Bitcoin versus what the Bitcoin holdings are actually worth, you end up with a difference of around like $300 million as opposed to $1 billion, which was the value of the software before. So you got to think, what's left over after you subtract the market cap from the Bitcoin holdings should be the software, right? So you got to think, why is this the case? Why did the software business, why is people valuing the software business so much lower than what it was before? Well, in my opinion, it's that what is happening is the market is discounting the extra risk that MSTR has taken on by going all in on Bitcoin. It's not that the software business has plummeted to like a third of what it was before. It's just that people are like, oh, this Saylor guy, he's kind of crazy. He's like putting all this money into Bitcoin, and we don't really trust Bitcoin, or we don't really believe in Bitcoin, so we're going to discount the stock, right? We're going to not buy as much of the stock or value it lower. So yeah, that would make sense if you're not a Bitcoin believer. If you thought that Bitcoin is worthless and it's going to crash, then of course that's what you would think, right? And MSTR is probably going to go to zero if Bitcoin goes to zero. Now, I personally don't think that that's going to happen, obviously, because I'm a huge bull on Bitcoin. So the market does need to account for that risk, though. But the end result is that you're getting Bitcoin and a really cheap and good software business on the side, kind of as a bonus, as a side when you order a steak, right? So this is why this is the reason why I'm in this stock. Anyways, moving on. This next stock is the stock that I've been adding to like crazy recently, and this is kind of the opportunity that I was talking about at the beginning of the video. So this is of course Coinbase. So I sold a lot of my other stocks like Dropbox at a profit. SoFi I made a decent profit on, and then I also sold my Nokia. That one I think I actually took a small loss on. But yeah, I know I said it wouldn't sell SoFi, but it just ran up so quickly that I just wanted to take some profits. I might go back into SoFi. It tends to oscillate between like 15 and 20. So if it gets close to like that like 15 or 16 range, and then I will buy back into SoFi. But yeah, I just wanted to add more Coinbase recently, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so I should probably make a separate video on Coinbase at some point, but all in all, I'm just hyper bullish on this stock. Okay, so if you can see, I put a significant amount of money already into this stock, and the goal is to get to 100 shares. Why am I so bullish, you might say? Well, let's just look at some of the metrics for Coinbase, and you can easily tell that this is a company that is firing on all cylinders. So looking at a chart of monthly transacting users, last quarter they reported 8.8 million transacting users, which was up from 6.1 million from the previous quarter. So it's just doing a hockey stick up. And looking at the revenue and operating income, you can see that revenue is increasing dramatically. So their operating income is down slightly though from the previous quarter, but that's okay because they rely a lot on trading fees and whatnot. And Q1 of 2021 was a much hotter season for crypto trading versus Q2, where we saw trading volumes decline and people kind of took a back seat on crypto as prices took a dip. But even then, Coinbase made over $800 million last quarter in operating income. So that's absolutely insane to me. I keep saying this, but it doesn't appear that too many people are listening. So I'm going to say it again, okay? Coinbase is one of the most profitable companies in the world. And when you invest in growth and technology companies, you often encounter companies that are not profitable at all. With Coinbase is kind of the opposite situation. Granted, Coinbase is a crypto company, so you do have to believe that crypto is going to be a much bigger thing in the future compared to where it is now. So if you don't think that that is true, then just forget everything I just said, right? You have to be convinced of that. But I think that if you are convinced that crypto is going to grow, then take a second look at Coinbase. So Citigroup recently put out a price target of $415 for Coinbase, which I think is relatively conservative actually. I don't know the time frame that they're looking at, but looking at the super long term, i.e. like 5 to 10 years, I do believe that Coinbase can be a 10 to 15x opportunity, which would put it around the $4,000 per share price range. So I know that sounds insane, but that would mean that Coinbase would be above a $1 trillion market cap. But considering we have quite a few tech companies that are already above $1 trillion already, with Tesla being the latest company to pass that threshold, I really don't think that that is that crazy, especially in like 5 to 10 years. And also Coinbase is launching an NFT marketplace in order to compete with OpenSea, and I think that the NFT marketplace is going to be an absolute hit if Coinbase can execute properly, and I do believe that they can because they got some of the most talented engineers working for them right now. So anyways, talk about Tesla though. It is of course my next position, and this is of course my biggest position in the portfolio still. And I keep getting people asking me if I'm going to sell Tesla or at least a little part of it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm actually kind of torn. So the valuation is extremely rich on Tesla right now, but Tesla has been executing perfectly. I mean like 11 out of 10 level, okay? So and they've been doing that for the past few years, not just the past few quarters. So there's no sign that it's going to stop growing anytime soon. So I've thought about it, and I'm not going to sell any Tesla shares. I just can't do it. I made that problem before. I made that mistake before where I sold some Tesla shares. I think I sold some at like $700 range, and then yeah, I don't know if it's ever going to go back down to around $700, right? And it's now at over $1,100. So yeah, the problem is also if I sell, where am I going to put the money, right? I could maybe buy more Coinbase, but I do want to retain some diversity as well, and I'd rather just use fresh money to buy that. But besides that, I don't really see anywhere I can deploy that money. It doesn't make sense for me to sell out of Tesla and then just keep the money in cash, right? Which is being eaten away by inflation, and it's not doing anything for me if it's just sitting in cash. So yeah, I can't see myself selling any shares. Although at these prices, I'm not really looking to add more shares either. So yeah, I'm kind of torn, guys. But I'm just going to leave everything and just hold for now. And oh yeah, I forgot to do this in my last portfolio reveal, but I do still have my shares in Palantir, my Questrade account. So right now I'm actually down about 20% on it. I should have spread out my buys a little bit better. I thought it was a good price because it dropped from like the high or mid 40s to low 30s, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy it now. And I was a little bit less patient than I was supposed to be, right? Than I should have been. But yeah, I just kept on dropping after I bought it. But I'm not worried about this one at all, actually. So if I have more money to toss around, I definitely average down on Palantir. Their stuff is pretty amazing, and they have contracts with the US Defense Department as well as other large companies. And in my opinion, it's really hard to replicate what Palantir does because the data analytics stuff, what they're doing is like super ultra complicated. So last thing, I did make a change to my Wealthsimple RSP account recently, or not recently, maybe like a few months ago, but during like the summer. And basically I went all in on Bitcoin and Ethereum in this account. And I'm in Canada, so I have access to spot ETFs. So that's what these two are. That's how I'm doing it. In a registered account, I'm just buying the CI Galaxy Bitcoin and CI Galaxy Ethereum ETF. And yeah, I'm just a hair away from 20K in value in this account. And I don't really touch this account that much because it's an RSP. And even if I make money or I lose money, I can't withdraw the money anyways without paying a tax penalty. So yeah, I don't have immediate access to this money anyways. It's more of like a long-term investment account. I'm hoping that this account though can go above 35K at some point. Which is a maximum allowed amount that you're allowed to withdraw as part of the first-time home buyers plan, which is a special program here in Canada that is designed to help people buy their first house. So I know a certain user by the name of AK. I see your comments, okay? He's been commenting on literally every single one of my videos telling me to buy Ryokan, and I just want to say that I get you, okay? I saw the messages, I know, and I will. But it's just that short term, I see more upside in crypto. But crypto works in cycles, and at some point, I do believe that we will hit another bear market. So if we start seeing that blow off top, it just starts like increasing by like 10% or more every day on Bitcoin or ETH, then my plan is to sell off most of it. And instead of keeping the proceeds in cash, it is my plan to just put it into some high dividend yielding stocks like Smart Centers or Ryokan in those cases. So those two are on the top of my list. I really do like the Canadian REITs. They do provide a very stable cash flow. And it also guards against inflation, right? So yeah, those two are the top on my list. But yeah, so that's the plan for now. Although I haven't seen that blow off top yet, so I'm still waiting for that blow off top on crypto. But I do plan on eventually getting back into the real estate, like the REITs. Because I do enjoy that dividend income. So yeah, anyways, that was the state of all my portfolios as of November 2021. So if you have any questions, leave it down below. Or if you like the video, please give a like for this video and consider subscribing if you're not subscribed already. And lastly, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links for those are down below in the description, as always. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.